Then we'll transition into a side plank. So if your forearms are down, you'll walk your hands back up. Plant your left hand, spin onto the pinky edge of your left foot. You can bring your right heel in front of your right toes here, or you can stack your feet. Your right hand can rest on your hip at first. You can look down. Once you have your balance, you might look forward. If you still have your balance, you might look up, pushing the floor away. And then from here, bend your right knee into your chest and step your right foot forward. So we're in a lunge with the right foot forward, and we're gonna rise right up to a high lunge. Back thigh lifting, front knee bending. Draw your front ribs back, lift your back ribs up. Bend your back knee and draw it into your chest. Come to balance on your right foot. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and sit back, standing figure four. You can remain here, or you can bring your fingertips to the floor, or to rest on blocks. That will take the balance element down a notch, but it might bring the hip stretch up a notch. Try to sit both hips back evenly, keeping your spine long. Returning to your smooth, steady breath. If your fingertips are down, float them back up. Bring your hands to your heart. Straighten your right leg. Bend your left knee back up and step back. High lunge. Spin your back foot flat for a warrior two. Make sure your front knee isn't dropping in, that it's moving toward the pinky toe side of your right foot while you press down into the big toe side of that foot. Interlace your hands behind your back, broaden your chest, and as you exhale, bow forward. You can rest the right side of your chest on your thigh, or you can bow forward inside. The weight tends to want to shift all into the right foot here, so press your feet apart like you're stretching your mat in two, so your left leg takes a little more weight. All the while keeping the right knee moving toward the pinky toe, the spine long, and the chest broad and open. Inhale. On an exhale, touch the floor. Spin your back heel up. Lower your back knee down for a runner's stretch. I like to scooch my back knee back a little as I start to straighten my front leg and draw the toes back toward me. It's also fine to keep your toes down if that feels better for your hamstrings. It's also often an excellent idea to walk up onto blocks so you can find a little more length and space. Draw your right outer hip back, lengthen through your spine, and keep your spine long. If you like, you can start to come forward a little. And again, steady with your breath. Draw the pinky toe side of your right foot back and press out through the ball of the big toe. Don't worry, we'll get more chance for full splits later. For now, let's just stay in this half splits. On an inhale, come upright. We'll return to a lunge. Plant our hands, and then extend the right leg up and back for a three-legged dog, bending the knee and stacking the right hip over the left hip. Here too, press a little more weight into your right hand so your shoulders stay level. And then on an exhale, step your right foot forward outside your right hand. Step your left foot forward. And we return to home base, to that Malasana or squat. We get to do the whole thing on the second side. Plant your hands, step your right foot back for lizard. Again, adjusting and ideally taking the same variation on this side that you took on the other side. Toes out, toes in. Just make sure you keep resisting that left shin in. And again, you can have your hands planted, fingertips planted, forearms down or forearms on a block, or blocks can be a lovely option. Back knee can be lifted for a more active variation, or resting down on the mat for a little bit more passive variation. Keep rolling the back inner thigh up, resisting the left shin in, and extending forward through your chest. And then let's transition into our side plank. So walking up if forearms were down, planting the right hand, shifting onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. You can bring your left heel in front of your toes. You can stack your feet. Look down first to get your balance, then maybe forward, then maybe up. Push the floor away. From here, we transition by hugging the left knee into the chest, spinning onto the ball of the right foot as you step your left foot forward. And it's a tricky transition, so don't feel discouraged if you lose your balance. I do it all the time. Inhale, rise up. Pause here for a breath in your high lunge. Then bend your back knee. Draw your right knee into your chest. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and sit back. You can stay here and work on your balance, or bring your fingertips to the floor, perhaps deepening the outer hip stretch. Trying to sit both hips back evenly, lengthening through your spine. If your fingertips are down, come up, straighten your left leg, right knee into chest, step way back, high lunge. Spin your back foot flat, interlace your hands behind your back, your more awkward feeling thumb on top this time. Inhale, broaden your chest, and exhale, fold forward, resting the left side of your chest on your thigh, or bowing inside the thigh for humble warrior. Root down into the ball of your left big toe. Move the knee toward the pinky toe side of the foot. Keep that as you stretch your legs apart, lengthening through your spine, broadening through your chest. Inhale. Exhale, touch the floor. Spin your back heel up. Lower your back knee down. And then scoot your front foot back, maybe your back knee forward for your half split. Ardha Hanumanasana or runner's lunge. Draw your left outer hip back. Lengthen through your spine. The pinky toe side of the foot tends to pull forward, so draw the left pinky back. Push out through the ball of the big toe. You can fold forward as long as you can do so evenly, maintaining the length through your spine. On an inhale, come upright if you're in the fold. Return to a lunge. Plant your hands and step back to three-legged dog. Left leg extended. You can bend the knee, stack the hips. Again, press a little more weight into your left hand so your shoulders stay relatively level. Inhale, and then exhale, step your left foot forward outside your left hand. Step your right foot forward too. Return to your lunge here. So now we're going to add on a little bit to that flow. We're going to add in some stretches for our quads as well. So we'll plant the hands, step the left foot back. And again, right toes turned out, forward, whatever feels best for you. Lower your back knee down to the floor. Plant your left hand on the floor of the block. And then bring your right hand to your thigh. Pressing your thigh forward, lengthening your spine and twisting your belly. You can stay here, or to add in the quad stretch, squeeze your left heel in toward your seat and reach back, catching hold over the pinky toe side of the foot. I like to draw my seat to my heel first and then bring both forward together. And if you like, you can come down onto your forearm. Again, some people really love to roll to the pinky edge of the foot, which is fine as long as the front foot that is, as long as you keep the knee and the toes pointing in the same direction. If your quads are tight, this might feel especially lovely right now. I know mine are right now. And then without slingshotting, meaning without flinging your foot back, gently release it. Come back to your more traditional lizard. Plant your left hand, spin onto the pinky toe side of your left foot, and take your side plank. Now this time, if you like, you might bring your right foot to your thigh and take a tree pose variation, or you might rest your right toes behind you and spin your chest up for a wild thing variation. You're dying for a little back bend here. Inhale, exhale wherever you are, squeeze your right knee into your chest and step your right foot forward. And then again, rise up, high lunge, bend your back knee, draw your left knee into your chest. You can take figure 4, or you can take eagle, crossing left thigh over right, tucking the toes behind your calf, or even resting them on the floor, or if you happen to have a block, resting your toes on a block in eagle. If left leg is over, left arm is under, and you might feel a really nice stretch in your upper back here as you sit low. Keep your arms as they are. Draw your left knee back into your chest and step back to your high lunge with eagle arms. Spin your back foot flat so you're in warrior 2 with eagle arms. And just glance down toward your right knee. Make sure it's not dropping in. Inhale, keep your legs as they are. Exhale, bow forward. Again, you can rest on your thigh, or you can bow forward inside the leg with your eagle arms. Neck long, soften your face and jaw, and release your arms toward the floor. They probably won't touch. Maybe if you have really long arms, they might. Inhale. On an exhale, you're going to stay inside the front leg, but release both your hands like that lizard. Spin your back heel up, lower your back knee down. From here, you can do another lizard or start to work your right shoulder under your thigh. Now, I like to bring my hand to my calf, lift my calf up, move my thigh back, work my shoulder under. Some people like to bring the left hand to the outside of the calf for stability. Other people like to come up onto the ball of the foot. You're just going to think about lifting your right calf up, moving your right thigh back so you have that space to work your shoulder under. It might be your upper arm more so than your shoulder. That's fine. You've got it up there. You could play with lifting your back knee up, broadening through your chest. You could play with lifting your arms up for an airplane variation, broad through your chest. Maybe it's a little hot potato, just lifting lower. And then release, hands to the floor, shoulder comes out, lower your back knee down, and then shift back into your half splits. If you'd like to take it a little further, scoot your front foot a little more forward, your back leg a little more back, you can. Blocks under hands are great. You could also place a block or even a stack of 2 blocks under this front thigh. That can be a really nice support, and then maybe even some additional support if you have them of blocks or whatever you have around under your hands. Some people also find it feels really good to let the right leg come out more to the side. The hands on the inside, a cross between Upavishta Konasana and Hanumanasana. You could try that too. And then let's draw back into center. And our downward facing dog. 3-legged dog. Bend your right knee. Stack your right hip over your left. If you're like, I would really love to flip my dog right now, then go for it. Shift forward a little bit. Spin to the pinky edge of your left foot. Lightly tap your right toes behind you as you open your chest up. And then we're all going to have that right hand planted and step the right foot outside the right hand. Step the left foot to meet it. And return to our squat. And just pause and feel and notice as we prepare for the second side. I can feel that my left quad feels a lot more tight right now than my right one. So let's even things out. Plant your hands. Step your right foot back. And then again, lower your back knee to the floor. Now, if you tend to get Charlie horses when you squeeze your back heel into your seat and try to catch hold of your foot, you might find coming up a little higher onto block or fingertips will eliminate that factor, or at least make it not so intense. Taking your time helps too. And then again, as you settle in, ideally in the same variation as the other side, even out your breath. And even notice how when you draw your back heel in, we tend to roll more to the front of the knee, well, just a little bit more to the outer knee, so that it's more even. And then without slingshotting, a gentle release. We're going to come back up onto our hands, plant the right hand, spin to the pinky toe of the right foot, and take your side plank variation. Maybe you bring your left foot onto the thigh for a tree variation. Maybe you lightly tap the toes behind you as you open up through your chest in a wild thing. And then we're all, from the side plank, going to squeeze the left knee into the chest, step forward, and rise up high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, bend the back knee, draw it into your chest, and take figure 4 or eagle. If the right leg is over, the right arm is under. Enjoying the nice shoulder stretch here, even as the leg might be quivering. And then right knee into chest, step back, high lunge with eagle arms. Spin your right foot flat, do a quick little check-in of your left knee, make sure it's not dropping in, and then bow forward. Eagle arms and warrior 2. Especially since you're bowing toward the front leg, it tends to want to take all the weight, so press your feet apart so the back foot has to do a little bit of the work too. Releasing the forearms toward the floor. And then unwinding the hands, bringing them to the inside of the left foot, spinning the right heel up, and lowering the knee down. You can stick with a lizard, or you can work your shoulder under your thigh. Calf up, thigh back, just to make the space. Shoulder under. Calf up, thigh back, shoulder under. Perhaps lifting the back knee, broadening through the chest, maybe extending the arms, and then touching the floor, releasing the shoulder, lower your back knee down again, and take your half splits or move toward full splits. Again, you might keep the hands inside, walk the left foot out a little wider, and work into that Upavishta Hanumanasana variation. Some people find this is a little bit more accessible, and it also stretches the hamstrings in a little bit of a different way. I like back toes tucked because they keep my back leg from turning out. I find often when I point my back toe, it's easier to roll onto my front outer hip, and those back toes tucked kind of keeps me in check a little bit. Let's return to our lunge, left foot forward, and then to a 3-legged dog. Extending the left leg up, bending the knee, squaring the chest. You can stay here or flip your dog by shifting forward, rolling onto the pinky edge of the right foot, lightly touching your toes, and spinning the chest up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, left hand on the mat. Step the left foot forward outside the left hand. Step the right foot to meet it. And settle back into your squat. So we're back at home base. I think we have time for one more round, adding on just a little bit more. We'll plant the hands, step the left foot back, And then take the lizard variation of your choice. So maybe you want to keep the back thigh lifted this time and come onto your forearms. Maybe that quad stretch felt really good. We'll just be here for a couple of breaths. If you have your back foot, release it as gently as you can. And then again, plant your left hand, spin onto the pinky toe side of the left foot for your side plank variation. If you like this time, you can extend your right leg all the way up, catching hold of the pinky toe side, or the pinky toe side of your foot, or binding your big toe, or any other variation you like. Then we're gonna bend the knee in toward the chest. If you have a hold of your foot, keep a hold of your foot. So instead of knee to chest, it's actually even a little more toward the ceiling. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot, lightly place your right foot forward. Rise up, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, bend the back knee, draw it into the chest. Take your figure 4 or eagle variation, left leg over, left arm under, and then step right back, high lunge. Spin your back foot flat, and then bow inside. Now, we're gonna plant our hands, spin the back heel up, and lower the back knee down. You can stay in a lizard variation, work your shoulder under your thigh again, or we can try this little arm balance prep. Spin your left toes toward the right corner of your mat and start to work your shoulder under here. So your left leg is like a kickstand as you move calf up, thigh back, shoulder under. Once you have that, plant your right hand beside your foot and bring your left hand to your hip. Maybe you can pick your right foot up. If it's accessible right now, you could catch hold of the pinky toe edge of the right foot, and you could hang out here, or start to extend your right leg, spinning your left chest up toward the sky for a half or Ardha Vishwamitrasana. Inhale, exhale, release, and then take your favorite split variation. Upavishta Hanumanasana, half splits, regular splits, propping as you like. Maybe a forward bend variation would feel nice here. We'll make our way back upright, hugging in, returning to a lunge, planting our hands, and extending the right leg up and back for three-legged dog, scorpion dog with the knee bends. You can stay here, you can flip your dog. And then we'll all plant the right hand down if it's up and step the right foot forward, right foot outside the right hand, and then that left foot forward. Returning back to our home base, getting ready to repeat one more time on the next side. We'll plant our hands, step the right foot back, and then find your favorite lizard variation. Again, ideally, the variation that you did on the other side. So we're working in a basically symmetrical way right now. If you've caught hold of your back foot, release it with as much control as you can. If you're on your forearms, walk yourself back up to your hands. Plant your right hand, spin onto the pinky toe edge, and again, take your Vasishtasana or side plank variation here. Maybe extending the leg, maybe coming into a wild thing or a tree pose leg. If you have the pinky toe edge of the foot or you've caught hold of the big toe, keep that as you bend your knee, either into your chest or up to the ceiling, and with as much control as you can, step forward into a lunge. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bend your back knee. Draw it into your chest. Take your your eagle or your figure 4. If right leg is on top, left arm is on top. And then let's straighten the leg. Step right back to a high lunge. Spin the back foot flat for warrior 2. Check out your knee alignment. and then bow forward inside, just a transition. Release your arms, hands to the inside of the left foot, spin the back heel up. Lower your back knee down. You can hold lizard, work your shoulder under into airplane lunge, or for that arm balance prep, spin your right toes more toward the left corner of your mat, so you could really almost come up into a half warrior two here. Then, start to work your shoulder under. Calf up, thigh back, shoulder under. Calf up, thigh back, shoulder under. Plant your left hand by your foot, bring your right hand to your hip. Maybe you can float your left foot up. If so, catch hold of the pinky toe side. Stay there, or start to extend the leg, spinning your chest open to the sky. Inhale. And then with as much control as you came into it, release. Release your shoulder, frame your front foot, and take your preferred splits variation. Again, that back leg often wants to roll open. Toes tucked under can help with that. It's more important to keep the back leg in that little bit of internal rotation than it is to get your thighs absolutely all the way to the floor. And remember too, blocks and other props you might have can be excellent support for the front thigh. Fold, that would feel good. And then we'll return to our lunge, drawing everything in towards center, planting the hands, and extending the left leg up and back for scorpion dog. Stay here if you like, shift forward, and flip your dog. One final time. And then left hand down. Everybody step the left foot forward outside the hand. Bring the right foot to meet it. And pause and feel. Perhaps you notice a difference between the squat and the first squat that we did, the very beginning of class. It feels a little more easeful, I hope. And then from here, we'll plant our hands and step back to a downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale your right leg up. Exhale your right shin forward for a pigeon prep. I feel like it just wouldn't be a feel-good flow without at least one pigeon in here. Make sure that your front ankle is straight, so your toes are active, but probably not flexed. If they're flexed, the ankle tends to collapse to the floor. Point your foot, spread your toes back toward you. Like in splits, you're welcome to remain upright, or you can come forward. And it doesn't need to be your deepest pigeon ever. Rather, it's the pigeon that feels the best for you right now. If you're dying for just one more shoulder stretch, you can cross your right arm over your left arm here and walk your fingertips to opposite sides. And then some people like to drape the chin over. I find that kind of crunches the back of my neck personally, so I prefer to just let my chin just kind of rest in my upper arm here. Do what feels good for you. Your back toes can be tucked, pointed. And you can even just shift from side to side a little, just to find that sweet spot where the stretch feels best for you. And if your arms are crossed, uncross them, walk back up. Let's all plant the hands and tuck the back toes and step back to down dog. And then left leg up. Inhale. Exhale, left shin forward. Pigeon prep. Scooch the right foot back and find that sweet spot for you. And you can remain upright or fold. And if you did so on the other side, you can bring, I believe it's the left arm on top this time. Walk your hands out in opposite directions. And this stretch feels kind of like in the upper back, kind of like an eagle stretch. That's what we're going for. Again, you can kind of shift from side to side a little until you find that sweet spot on the stretch. What works and feels best for you. If your arms are crossed, come upright and uncross. Tuck your back toes and press back to downward facing dog. Legs straight or knees bent. Take a nice full inhale and a nice long exhale. Lower your knees to the floor and then come to lie on your back. And if there's anything that would feel especially good for you before Shavasana, go ahead and do that. And then settle in for a Shavasana that is as cozy and as short or as long as you would like. And even if you don't have a ton of time, maybe just 3 breaths, 4 breaths, 5 breaths in your Shavasana before you go and continue to face the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice this afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. Namaste.